Hey guys, another update on the 76 Jeep J10. As you can see, it is starting to look really nice. I just got the brush guard on there, and this is like a perfect shot, in my opinion, of the Jeep with the roll bar that I built and the brush guard on here. And it's just starting to look really nice. I am quite pleased with how it's turning out. So you can see the brush guard has been kinked right here. Whoever owned it before me must have hit something and bent it in. So I need to get a strap and, put a towel or something between the strap to not damage my paint job right here. And I need to tie it to a tree and back up slowly to kind of pull it out just a hair. Not a big deal. Mounting this thing is kind of a pain in the ass because this is actually a brush guard from I think 79 Plus, because there are two different ones. They're both the same, but the mounting points are a little bit different. So I was able to mount it over here using the original bracketry that it came with, but this side over here didn't line up quite 100%. It was off by just like a few millimeters or maybe a quarter of an inch, if any. So I had to cut it off and weld it into the back of the bar right here to bolt it on. To be honest, you don't notice that because it is center. You can see it's centered with the hood and everything like that. So whatever, it's on. The other major thing that I had to do, which is a real pain in the ass because this Jeep was a plow. And this bumper right here for plows is actually supposed to be out here. So there's a big gap between the header panel and the bumper. And that allows for all of the hydraulics and I guess the plows like bull bar with the lights, you know what I mean, that goes between the bumper and the header panel of the Jeep and the grill or whatever. So because of that, this bumper actually had a mounting plate right here. You can see where I cut it off and I had to weld it this way. So this mounting plate has to be longer because the bumper is sticking out more in the front. And because it's longer, this bolt hole and this bolt hole on the plate were more like over here. So it wouldn't even bolt up to the frame. So when I had the bumper on, all this time I've been making videos, I have not bolted this up to the frame. So when you grab the bumper right here, it would kind of wiggle up and down. There's no support on the sides. So what I had to do was I had to cut it off right here. Then I had to take this L-shaped plate and I had to cut it right here, almost completely off, but just enough to where there's some metal left. And then I had to take a hammer and smack like the plate to bend this, so that way this angles and touches against the original bracketry. And then, welded on the top, in the middle, in the front, going all the way down to the bottom down here. So it's welded on there. It's plenty strong. You can see how good those welds are, and they're pretty thick too. So I welded from here all the way up, so it's like an inch thick. I don't think that's going to cause any issues. You can see that's all welded back on there. I just need to clean it up and paint it. Everything is bolted on. I did kind of damage the paint job down here, so I might have to repaint it, because again, this thing was a pain in the ass to get on. And another reason why it's a pain in the ass is because the bolt for the shackle mount on the leaf spring is facing the wrong direction. It's sticking outward, and because it's sticking outward, you can see it rubbed the crap out of my brush guard, because the brush guard sits right where that bolt sticks out, and you can't get it in. You can't get it up onto the frame with the bolt sticking out that way. So I don't know why they did that from factory, but they did. I guess because it didn't have a brush guard from factory, so they just stuck the bolt in whatever hole, whichever direction. I know my Wagoneer goes the opposite way, so the brush guard is really easy to get on and off, and this one goes the other way, so the brush guard's really hard to get on. So anyway, it's on. It's solid. It's not going anywhere. Bolted up with washers. Everything is nice and tight. Here's another view. Let me zoom the camera out. It looks really nice. I really like the stance it has. But I am going to be putting bigger tires. Again, these tires are just Goodyear Wrangler radials. They've been making these things since like the 70s. Basic, like $80 tires. They're 235, 75, 15s. So they're like 28.5 inches. I got these, as you guys know, because I just finished building the truck. I needed tires. The tires were 24 years old. These tires have been okay, but they're terrible in the mud or the grass or anything like that. They just slip all over the place. But they've served their purpose. So I'm going to get 31-inch tires. I'm not going to get 33-inch tires. The reason why I'm not getting 33 inches, even though 33 will fit on factory leaf springs, is because I use the truck as a work truck. I have put almost 2,000 pounds in the back of this truck, probably 2,000 pounds when I had a bunch of logs in the back of it. 2,000 pounds in the back of this truck, and obviously with the weight it goes down. Even though I have coilover shocks and factory leaf springs on there, the coilover shocks add an extra 500 pounds per shock. Once it was bottomed out like that onto the overload spring, the fender flare was kind of like, the wheel was almost in the wheel well with 28.5-inch tires. So if I get 33-inch, even without a heavy load in the back of the truck, I've seen pictures with 33s. The 33s will sit like way up here, and I just don't want them that high. So 31s will be like probably up here, and that'll be a really nice stance for me on this truck. And you guys also got to remember, I never replaced the leaf springs in the front. So the leaf springs are quite sagged. When the coilover shocks were put on in the front, it did jump me up 2 inches. So eventually, down the road, I will get new leaf springs in the front, but they're okay for now in the front. It was mainly just the rear where they were really bad. And the brush guard bent right here. I'm going to have to tie a tow strap to this, like a flat tow strap, probably with like a towel or something so I don't damage this. Tie it to a tree and back up to kind of gently pull this out just a hair. You know what I mean? I don't want to like bend the bumper or bend anything, but I do want to pull this out a little bit. It's too much. I can't even get my finger in here. So somebody must have hit something right here on the brush guard. I'm going to put some lights on here. Still am not sure what kind of lights. Same, not sure what I'm going to put on the top. Probably going to go with round KC lights or KC style lights like I did my Wagoneer on the top up here. Probably only going to do 4, so like 2 here and 2 there. And the brush guard, I was thinking of just doing 2 fog lights and then 2 more like round KC style lights, just like I did with my Wagoneer. Not 100% sure yet. And to be honest, I was thinking of going yellow as well, or at least 2 of them being yellow and 2 of the top ones being yellow, because it's really foggy where I live, and the yellow lights are easier to see when you're driving than like white lights are. White lights actually make the fog worse. And I'm not sure. Am I going to go halogen? Am I going to go LEDs? I've already found some really nice looking halogen lights, and I've also found some really nice looking LEDs. The problem with the halogens, or sorry, the LEDs, is every single one of them, there's like 50 different names for the same light because they're all Chinese, and they all claim 100 watts, 80 watts, 200 watts, when they're only using like 10 watts of power, so they're really not that bright, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like a switch up. Plus, it's an older truck. Will it look okay with LEDs, or will it look better with halogens? I don't know. So you guys let me know. Should I just go modern, go LEDs, and just be done with it? Or should I go the old school look like I did my Wagoneer and go like the round halogen lights? So here's one more look. Let me know what you guys think of the truck. I think it's looking pretty goddamn good in my opinion. So thanks for watching, everybody.